And then we're doing kirtan. Oh, look, another picture of him. We're doing kirtan, and the local villagers are there with us, and we're singing, and they're singing, and we're going back. Then this cow came on, like the temple doesn't have any walls, it's just got like pillars,
Yeah.
and then this beautiful cow started coming at me, and that cow just nuzzled right up to me and hung out with me for a good 10, 15 minutes. It was licking me, and just this whole village was just like, it was like, and it was just another world. It was so beautiful, so nice.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center, New York, Kaustubha. Welcome to the show. It's episode 1496. Today's December 19th, 2024, and we're in it. We're winding down this year, 2024, about to hit our 5th year of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You know what? There's sometimes I kick, there's sometimes I fight. And sometimes I'll tell people, yeah, we do a daily spiritual podcast. And they're like, what? A daily one? Yeah, we just do it.
People have been saying that a lot to me lately. But then I just say, you know what? Other people, they got a job to do every day. We have a job to do every day, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't like it
every day. Of course, most people have the job every day.
We try to do it, and especially with my crazy traveling career. But you know what? I will say, as much of a pinch as it is to do it every day, it's that accountability of showing up that makes it worth it. And it's like you're hearing the Bhagavatam every day. That's what the Bhagavatam tells you to do.
It does.
It tells you got to hear this every day. You want to change, you do the same thing on a regular basis. It doesn't exhaust you. It's not like you get what's that called when you do the same physical thing every day? Repeated stress,
burnout,
repeated strain. You don't get that. You actually get. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do read things every day, and one day it's just like a knot, and you push through, and all of a sudden you find that the Bhagavatam starts to take over your thoughts. It helps you develop a new set of lenses to see the world, and it's quite magical. And on our episode 1500, which is happening in 4 episodes from now, we're going to unmute some people, and we are going to just hear their story, how the Bhagavatam has changed their life, hearing on a regular basis.
That's on Monday?
Yeah, that's Monday.
Right.
I would like to hear some devotees who are been around a while, but maybe, a lot of times people are brand new to Bhakti. But I'd like to hear somebody like, Jai Sabhadra, Govardhan Lal. I'd like to hear their devotees who come onto the podcast on a regular basis now. I'd love to hear from them. That's a hint.
As well.
Write in your testimony, send it to Miss Mara, Wisdom of the Sages 108@gmail.com, or allow us to unmute you and you can share your story. Because it's quite interesting what happens when you show up for Krishna on a regular basis.
All right.
You start having Krishna conscious dreams like my Govardhan Hill dream last night. That's exciting, man.
Okay, right.
And I heard you've done some adventurous things lately. What did you do yesterday, Mr.
I had some adventures, but should we check in with Mara first, do you think? I just want to make sure we get her announcements.
Did I already make the announcement for you?
Good morning. Well, yeah, you did make that announcement. But also, I just wanted to mention that the Sage Group signups are happening now for our next session. The next session runs January 6th through March 30th. And our registration...
It's a little 8-week session, little 8-week winter session. Easy.
Yeah.
You know what? Change the people you hang out with, change your life. Write that down. Change the people you hang out with, change your life.
Okay.
Join a Sage Group. Show up with people who want to raise the bar. Raise the bar of their thoughts, of their conversation, of their lifestyle. And it's free. We're not charging anything. It's just a way to build community, and it's working. I get nothing but radical feedback, positive feedback from Sage Group people. Okay. I'm not in one, but I have Mara's. I have Mara's association, and she's very good association.
Our sage
She's
group
sage
slots
group
are
leader.
85. Well, I'm on pause with that for
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
for the next
She
session,
did.
but I
She
will
did
staff,
with
so.
Sage Groups what I do with my Facebook account. I
deactivate
Pause
it.
it.
temporarily deactivate
Well,
it.
no, I think your Facebook deactivation might be longer term than my pause.
Oh,
on-
Mara just killed it, Raghu. She must have killed your Facebook thing.
What do you mean?
She didn't.
I mean,
just
you're
pause it.
deactivating it. Like,
Oh,
it's
I'm
not just going to be paused, right? Are
well.
you deactivating
I'm
it for
pretty
good?
well. I'm keeping it because I like.
Yeah, see that, Mara? He didn't go
Well,
all the
no,
way.
no. I like. I like marketplace. I like market. I guess I could use your marketplace. You know why?
Yeah, you
People
can.
write to me on Messenger, and then I got all my other banned
Messenger, I think,
accounts.
getting rid of, because anyone can write to you on Messenger and they can call you on Messenger. It's like, it's
They
a
can call
crazy
me.
thing. I don't get it. It's like too much Messenger.
Yeah. You know what's also weird? Venmo. Raghunath just paid Kaustubha $4. It's like
I don't get that at all. It's crazy. It's like,
that.
why would they put that up there?
Why would they do that?
But Raghunath, we got to keep this focus. Mara, are there any other announcements?
Watch
No.
out when Kaustubha starts squirreling. I want to hear about Kaustubha's adventures.
Okay.
You got an announcement?
I just wanted to mention that the Sage Group signups are 85% full, so people should
Ooh.
sign up sooner rather than later.
85%. Okay.
Got 15% left. So
Yeah.
get in there.
All right,
All right,
Kaustubha,
today.
your adventure better be like. You're
What?
like, ask me about my off camera. He's like, ask me about my adventure. I was like, you better have wrestled a cheetah. I want to hear about
No,
your
it's
adventure.
nothing like that. It doesn't have to
Okay.
be like that, Raghunath. It doesn't have to be like that. It was beautiful.
I was
All
like,
right?
okay, Kaustubha's
It was beautiful
okay,
and meaningful.
some jungle cat. What's going on?
You see, that's why you got to get off Instagram, Raghunath. Right there. You see, that's it. You see?
I'm staying.
looking-
Okay. I'm
You want
staying.
some like violence with animals? No, I'm not offering you that, okay? So no, I went somewhere where I haven't been in like 30 years. And
Oh.
I was there with you, Raghunath. You ready?
I didn't go to Ekachakra, if that's what you're
No,
thinking.
no. But on the Navadvip Mandal Prikrama, we went to a village called Bailpakur.
Oh yeah, Bailpakur.
Right? This is where Lord Chaitanya's mother grew up. And her father.
It's
and
so
Nilambar
cool, isn't it?
Chakravarti
You go to
Thakur.
all these places. It's like
But-
you walk around reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita, reading the Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Someone on the chat board Googled this and then put up a picture. Madan Gopal Didi, Bailpakur, like Belpakur.
Bail,
So
B-A-E-L.
You go into this. It was like going back in time, like when we used to be on the Navadvip Mandal Prikrama. You really go deep into a village. It's so beautiful there. It's crazy. It's like all the fields of mustard, yellow mustard flowers, and just open rice fields, and beautiful cows just roaming around all over the
Feel like
place.
you're in another time in history.
You're in Chaitanya Lila. It's so nice.
All of Mayapur was like that when we were young, but when we take the group this year, let's
We're
go to
going there.
these remote villages
No
because
doubt.
it's really
doubt.
breathtaking, and you start to realize like this is how the whole world lived. I mean, this is how upstate New York was. It was beautiful rural
Right.
countrysides, and then the automobile came and the roads came, and it's slowly you start to forget about. In the same way we forget about dial phones or push button phones and dial phones, we just forget about it, and the new generation has no clue. We forget about the time where there were no sounds of trains, sounds of cars, sounds of jackhammers, and
Yeah.
everything was rural country life. Everything was slow living, and
So
it
sweet.
forces you into a type of Sattvic living, which.
Yeah.
Go on. You had a point here somewhere.
Well,
but I'm
no, I'm going to
hijacking- I'm
share about
hijacking
the
your
experience.
adventure.
But no, that was great. You added to it. Yeah, you start coming down the road, kind of like country roads take me home. It's like you're going down the
Yeah.
road, and just like beautiful cows roaming around, little kids running around free. Oh, there's a lady. She's taking, she's taking a bath out in public. She's like clothed and everything, but like that's what they do. They just go to the pump, they fill up the water, they pour it right over their head. Like, hi,
Yeah.
she's soaking wet. And like, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. And you're just like moving through, and it's all banana trees and mango trees, and everywhere you look it's just so sweet. And then you come to this village, and I remember it all sort of coming back to me, Raghunath, being there, And this temple is a small little temple of Madan Gopal.
Mm.
It's the deity that was worshipped by Lord Chaitanya's mother and her father. You know, it's where she grew up. And this beautiful deity of Krishna. They say it's like Jayapataka Maharaj apparently said it's like 1400 years old. You know, oh here he okay, now he's up on the board. You see him?
Wow. Thank you, Chapu.
That's the exact outfit he was wearing today. And he was even dressed more beautiful. And when we saw him, Raghunath, it was like he was so charming and beautiful. Everyone felt it. Everyone was feeling it. Like, you are just the sweetest person there is, you know? As a matter of fact, he was so sweet that Tara began to sing the Madhurastika, you know? We all sang the Madhurastika, song about how sweet Krishna is. And then we're doing kirtan. Oh, look, another picture of him. We're doing kirtan, and the local villagers are there with us, and we're singing, and they're singing, and we're going back. Then this cow came on, you know, like the temple doesn't have any walls, you know? It's just got like pillars, you know?
Yeah.
And then this beautiful cow started coming at me, you know? And that cow just nuzzled right up to me and hung out with me for a good 10, 15 minutes. You know, it was licking me, and just this whole village was just like, it was like, and it was just another world. It was so beautiful. So
Yeah.
nice.
You know,
We're
I'm no
going there,
mystic.
Raghunath.
I'm no mystic that can see the future. I'm not that. But I can see that the world it's unsustainable as it is. It just can't.
Yeah.
Every time we try to find a new way to make things easier, it complicates it again and again. We're sick of
Yeah.
drilling into the earth. We're sick of being oil dependent. We go to electric cars. Electric cars have so many problems with them as well. You have open mine, cobalt drilling. It's child labor. It's like every time we try to think of a solution, it causes more problems.
Right, right.
And every time we try to think, okay, there's a pestilence. Okay, we need the insecticide and herbicides, and then that contaminates the water table, and it's
It's a
like
whack-a-mole thing.
it's a whack-a-mole theory, and we just got to get back to simple living. And you know what's interesting about India presently? It's like right over the cusp right now. And if you were there before when it was really rural, you can still see it. Like, for example, even in Albany, you might drive up to the mall. And in the middle of a mall is like a stone house that was once like a farmhouse, but they've turned it into a bank or something. But around that stone house is a mall. And so they've made the
Right.
mall somehow blend in with the stone house, etc. In the same way, you'll go to India today and go to some sort of like a hotel, and there'll be a bucket in the shower. Why? Because when we were young, everybody took bucket showers. There was no hanging showers. It was like everybody squatted down, took out a lota, a metal cup, and pumped water and
Poured
dumped
water over their
water
head.
over
Yeah.
their head. There was not hot water. There was like hot water was like incredibly rare, especially in the villages. There wasn't the electricity in Vrindavan wasn't there. And so we're witnessing now the moving out of like the big shift of India to becoming very westernized. And we were saying, like at the Delhi airport, which is like one of the biggest airports in Southeast Asia, they've dropped a little California mall right outside the Delhi airport and turned it into sort of like you're in California.
Yeah.
And all these mega hotels
Yeah.
and like and malls and stuff
What's
like
it
that.
called? Airport City or something like that? Or
Aero City.
Aero City.
I mean, I'm not even.
It's convenient.
It's super convenient, and it's it's a Western standard, etc. But watching this shift from going to what you just described as it's slow moving. You're sitting on the backs of an ox cart. You go, and it's just going slow. And I tell you, truthfully, it's one of the reasons why I think this idea of self-sustainable farms, etc., will not happen until people completely unplug. And it's
Yeah.
very difficult to do. It's very difficult to say these modern ways are not going to work. It's almost like there has to be some type of actual collapse to force people to do it. We have to figure
And that's
out
why you're
how to grow rice
stockpiling.
in the northeast. How to grow rice. People have to learn these old things, how to grow grains, or how to make food out of how to harvest acorns.
Root cellar.
How to have root cellars without electricity. How to pump water that's not connected to electricity. These are like basic things that we forgot. We've made them obsolete, and now we got to relearn them again. How to make furniture instead of like buying everything from China or Amazon, etc. These
Mara,
simple arts.
What exactly is he stockpiling down in the basement there, by the way? I'm just curious.
Mara is my prepper's dream girl because she has she at her kitchen she has bulk everything. I was like, we're
Right.
set.
Well, she
We're
ran a
set for you.
restaurant. That's not because she thinks the world's about to end. It's because she ran a restaurant, Raghunath. She knows how to save a little money.
Anyway, yes. So Mayapur
All right.
still got almost like 1 foot in each world.
Yeah,
you know.
there's
Just
still this
paved the
thing.
road to Mayapur. You're like, yeah, they paved the road. And I was
Yeah,
like, no,
convenient.
Kaustubha.
Yeah.
It's convenient,
Oh.
but you're
But it comes with
missing
a
out
price.
on the dust rising from the hooves of the
Yeah.
calves.
But there's this thing about India still, like where it's like you'll be driving, like this is what it is. Like you come in, you get off at the airport, you're driving down a road, you're even passing through, even you're way out of the city, and you're on that road, and you're looking at the road and say, this place is dilapidated, dusty, dirty, noisy. This place is horrible. And then you just turn one turn,
Yeah.
you just go a little off that main road, and suddenly you're out in the country, and India becomes very beautiful. It's like
Yeah.
it's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
That's
was
why
thinking.
every time I go to Vrindavan now, it's like I
Yeah.
get out of the town of Vrindavan, even out of Govardhan, and go to these little remote places, and you still get that
Mm.
Vrindavan feeling. You see Bridge Basis, you see them worshiping the
Brudge
deity.
roaming?
But you're in the middle, huh?
So Brudge roaming?
The Brudge roaming.
Yeah.
Did you go to Kadamba Kundi?
No.
Oh God, it's like you're in Vrindavan hundreds of years ago.
I went twice to Kadamakumbi. I grew up in Kadamakumbi. One up in you there,
Okay. All right. So anyway, thank you.
I was
for
also
sharing.
thinking about somewhere in that little village, you and I just like wandered off and stayed in someone's home or something like that, probably, back in the day.
Back in the day, well, that same Gauri Mandal Parikram that you and I went, I couldn't get a room at the ISKCON temple. And I stayed with back in those days, there was just little cottages, like earthen homes on that main Bhaktisiddhanta road, whatever it was. And I stayed with a family in their cottage, and I pumped my water and I took a bath. I remember me and Krishna Chaitanya from shelter, we just took our little bath. It was like the most wonderful experience. You couldn't pay top dollar for this little beautiful place under.
It's like when I spent a month living in the Gurukul here in Mayapur, and Tara was a teacher there. You get up in the morning, and to bathe, they had this area where, like, they had those thatched walls, but just open roof, thatched walls and then inside they had like a concrete floor and then a pump. And you'd be outside underneath the banana trees, pumping your water and bathing out there and watching the langur monkeys like jumping around in the trees. It was the nicest way to wake up.
Yeah, you can't even. Yeah, it's not just a natural experience like walking the Appalachian Trail or going to Yosemite. It's got this. It's a beautiful natural experience with a huge twist of Krishna Bhakti. That's what it is. It's like Krishna conscious Boy Scouts.
Oh man, when we saw Krishna today, Raghunath, we were all just like, it was, what it was like? It was like today what we're going to read about when like Vamanadeva appears and everybody's like everybody's like, oh my God, he's so beautiful.
Right.
It was like that. Everyone was looking at this deity of Krishna saying, he's just the sweetest person that exists. Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah. Another nice thing about this culture is it's a culture. It's not just like me and God. It's like me and God and the culture of loving God, which is like, oh, you like the beautiful outdoors? Here he is. Oh, look, they have a cow. There is a cow. Oh, there's a nice deity and they're offering flower gardens. Nice. Oh, prasad. Here, try all these delicious Bengali preparations you've never eaten. It's, we all eat in the same food. And sometimes we eat the same food every day or for a whole life. I've had thousands of pounds of ravioli in my life. You know what I mean? But they're bringing in preparations that your body has never experienced. Food you've never eaten before. That's delicious. And you're like, why doesn't the whole world know about this food?
Okay.
Right?
You know what else happened there, Raghunath, too?
What?
Is that the local devotees, they're just a few, but you can see like there's the pujari, then there are two ladies, one spoke English, one didn't. One of them was probably the wife of the pujari. I'm not sure. She dressed the deities. I looked at the deities, I said, did you dress the deities? He said, no, she did. I was like, this is so beautiful. It's crazy. Then we just became like so close. We just like started talking about things together. They were dancing with us. They were singing with us. They were bringing out prasadam for us. We all fell in love with each other and fell in love with Krishna because we're all like, we all love him, don't we? Then I love you. I love you. It was just like so sweet.
It's a
We're
sweet
going
culture.
there.
It's
We're
a
going
sweet
there.
culture. And when you associate with sweetness, you become
sweet.
sweet. Even people like
That's
me,
sweet.
I'm not so sweet. I didn't grow up sweet. I grew up like a
No?
little nasty, a little jerk,
Okay.
punk. But I associate with sweet. Mara's very sweet. I
you're so
associate with her.
sweet.
I become sweeter. I've become a
Look at these
sweeter soul,
photos.
babe.
You see these photos, Raghunath?
People are posting photos here.
You see him dressed in yellow there? How sweet.
Pizza
Look at
boy.
him. Look at how he's in that threefold bending form.
Beautiful. Sweet.
Look at that nice turban he's wearing.
All right, let's bring it back, sir.
All right.
Maybe we should we even do a nugget today?
No, we don't need the nugget. We may work it in. Let's see.
Okay. I smell cookies. Did you make cookies?
That's just your imagination, Raghunath.
Smoke. Okay. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is ever a means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, to Narayan Rishi, the most human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance on classes in the Bhagavatam.
Regular.
By regular attendance on classes in the Bhagavatam. And by service to the pure devotees. All that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. Hooray! And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact.
It's a good thing we don't have that sound effect buttons kind of thing because what you be doing to these sacred mantras? Oh no, what do you got? We can't hear it.
I do have a sound. You can't hear it? No, I have a little sound effect box that someone gave me as a gift. I think it was Greg
Who would do that?
I think Greg DeGacy did. I can't remember.
Greg, please, no more of that kind of thing.
So anyway,
Om again.
Om Gyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshuru Militamyana Tasmai Shri Gudavedama. You know what? I tell you, that prayer, it's so simple, but on a regular basis, 3 times a day, I have to remember all the people who have spoon-fed me bhakti.
1, 2, 3.
I'm grateful for changing the direction of my life. Who knows where I would have been without these devotees going out of their way.
Out of their way.
Give me some bhakti. And, they'll never know how much they've done for us. They never know. And so I'm greatly appreciative. And once I lose that appreciation, I feel I've lost the depth of my life.
Raghunath.
Okay. 2024.
Thank you. No, that was Steve. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
All right, you ready?
Yes. Srimad Bhagavatam. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 18, Text 12.
Oh, text 12. Hold on, let me pull that up. Great.
The Lord appeared in his original form with ornaments and weapons in hands. Although this ever-existing form is not visible in the material world, he nonetheless appeared in this form. Then, in the presence of his father and mother, he assumed the form of Vamana.
So he switched.
Right, so he appeared as Vishnu.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden he went bloop, and he took this other little form. And I say little because he was a dwarf Brahmana. Not just a dwarf Brahmana. A brahmachari. And he did that little switch just like a theatrical actor.
Okay. That's important to hear, I think. Why don't we read the commentary?
Was he a baby? A baby dwarf? Or just
No, I think he was when you read this
full-grown dwarf?
I think he was fully grown, like young dwarf. I think he was like a boy dwarf, but he wasn't an infant.
Are baby dwarfs even tinier than normal babies? Or do they...
I'm not sure about that, Raghunath. I don't know.
Never thought about that.
but
Someone's got to figure that out on the message board, please. Okay.
But if you read this Leela as we're about to do, it sounds like he was born as Vishnu. He immediately turned into Vamanadeva.
Yeah.
Like they say, even in the heavenly planets, people like the kids just grow up like practically instantly. So what to speak of
Right.
Vishnu? But then it seems like right on they gave him all the clothes that he needs and everything, and they gave him all like his accoutrements. And
Yeah.
it sounds like right then he just went and found Bali, like right then, you know. I'm not sure if there's any time lapse there, you know, or if he just right on the spot he went. It sounds like that's what he did.
Okay. Let's go back to our story.
The commentary.
The word, this is the purport. The word nataha is significant. An actor changes dress to play different parts, but is always the same actor. Similarly, as described in the Brahma Samhita, the Lord assumes many thousands and millions of forms, right? Not just the Das avatar. It's actually unlimited amounts of avatars. Imagine all the avatars, Kaustubha, that we haven't even thought of yet.
Raghunath, I don't know if you've seen this. If this you've come, I almost sent you a link today, but someone's out there making AI movie trailers of all the different avatars,
Oh, really?
like Lord Varaha.
Oh, really?
It's pretty wild. Yeah, I'll try to find it and send it to you. But then I was like, wow,
AI is going to take this whole thing, accelerate this whole Kali Yuga thing super quick,
think
in
that everything's
wonderful
gonna
ways and
collapse.
horrible ways. But imagine, I was just thinking, imagine if the Lord really has hundreds of millions of forms and we're blown away by the Das avatars, the 10 avatars.
Yeah.
Parshuram, Lord Boar, Lord Fish. Imagine there's got to be a Lord Duck. You know, there's got to be these so many different lords out there.
Reel it in. Okay, let's keep reading this.
Don't you ever think about that? Like, what other avatars are there?
I don't know enough about the ones that I know came, that I know
You know what?
about.
I'm reading up right now on Kalki, Kalki's wife, Kalki's mission. I'm reading up on Parshuram, actually.
You're into the destruction, like you're into destruction.
Well, no, I'm just interested in Lord, and sometimes the Lord wrecks stuff, and sometimes he, right, you know. He is always present with
a squirrel avatar, Raghunath.
Of course there is.
You know that's a flying squirrel.
Yes. Okay, let's keep it on track, Kaustubha, okay?
Thank you.
He is always present with innumerable incarnations. Nonetheless, although he appears in various incarnations, they are not different from one another.
Did you read everything? You skipped a chunk.
No, I didn't.
You?
No.
You read about the verses from Brahma Samhita?
Yeah, I just didn't read the verses in Sanskrit.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He's the same person with the same potency, the same eternity, and the same spiritual existence, but he can simultaneously assume various forms. When Vamanadeva appeared from the womb of his mother, he appeared in the form of Narayan, with 4 hands, equipped with the necessary symbolic weapons, and then immediately transformed himself into a little brahmachari. Shape-shifting. This means that his body is not material. One who thinks that the Supreme Lord assumes a material body is not intelligent. He has to learn more about the Lord's position. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame devyam evam yoveti tattvataha. One has to understand the transcendental appearance of the Lord in his original transcendental body.
Okay. So he plays like an actor in a sense, right? This is interesting.
Nice.
But by the way, when just seeing those Brahma Samhita verses, we should give a shout out. I think you know who too.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Well, there for sure. Today's his appearance day, right? We also stopped off at his Samadhi Mandir today on the way out.
We should have a little Bhaktisiddhanta appreciation here. Bhaktisiddhanta was Prabhupada's guru, our guru's guru, who had he was
not our guru's guru, our grandfather guru.
Our
great grandfather.
Our Param guru, right? The guru. Then the Param Guru is the grandfather, and the Param Guru.
Great grandfather.
He was very empowered person, and he really revolutionized, the spreading of bhakti. He had thousands of disciples, and some of very, very big leaders in India. Prabhupada wasn't even considered one of the big leaders because Prabhupada lived a very simple life for most of his life, and he became the biggest proponent of bhakti internationally and within the universe. But he established temples all over India. It was quite impressive, and he sent people to the West even before Prabhupada. Some made it as far as England. He had German disciples. Very impressive. And
also, I think I can just say this in a very general sense because it would take a lot of detail to kind of fill it out. But the worship of Radha and Krishna, which was really firmly established by Sri Chaitanya and his immediate followers, it's such a beautiful theology and deeply esoteric theology. And it was also kind of being practiced at a time where India was under the rule of a Muslim government. So it's hard when you have to kind of keep your head low, or else the government may wipe you out.
Yeah, it wasn't welcome by the government.
And so you have to practice it, and not only practice and teach the culture, but kind of present it in a way that it's handed down and is preserved. That's challenging enough under normal conditions, but when you have like a government that's like oppressing you, threatening you, it's hard. So you have on one hand this theology that's very esoteric and practically erotic, because it's such a sensitive subject.
Sure.
And then you have
eroticism in the material world is degraded. And for a person growing up in a Judeo-Christian background, they're like, what? But it's this eroticism of a spiritual realm. So it's not what it appears to be, and it has to be taught by masters. So
very sensitive. Yeah. And then on the other hand, you can't really establish it's much harder to establish those teachings well when you're being oppressed in this way. So over the course of the centuries, this lineage was not that it ever fell apart, but in the popular eye, it was largely seen as like corrupt and it was very misunderstood.
Sure.
And especially figures like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they did incredible service in their writings, in their speakings, in their teachings to really set the whole thing straight, represent it on the level that it needed to be represented on, and then spread it around the whole world. It's like they were incredibly powerful teachers, incredibly powerful figures.
These three people have affected me in Kaustubha Prabhu so deeply. Is Prabhupada, who is our guru's guru. Prabhupada's guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. All of them. Yeah. I mean, all of Bhaktisiddhanta, especially, he was like a child prodigy, a wunderkind, child prodigy, Sanskritist from the age of 4, like master logician, complete control of the English language. Like he was so like lucid in his writing, so impressive in Bengali and Sanskrit, and very, very prolific. Wrote so many books, traveled around, influenced so many people. It's one of those people like you could not be impressed by him.
Right.
And and then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he was a lifelong renunciate. Then his father was the opposite. He had 10 kids. He was working in the world. He was a high court judge. He was he was beloved by so many, and he was a great a poet.
Prolific poet, songwriter, writer.
Incredible poet, songwriter. We sing these songs. These three people, you and I have so much loyalty for and appreciation. And we realize that it's these three that actually sort of have resurrected, almost like archaeologists have found this ancient tradition and resurrected and held it up so high. And we have so much great appreciation for them.
To do so took incredibly strong philosophical acumen, to like pick apart all the false philosophies that had, in a sense, covered the pure teachings of Sri Chaitanya. It was something that had to be done by a master. It's someone that could do it masterfully and represent it to the British intelligentsia that was present that was ruling, Bengal and all that. At the time, they were masters. They were blowing minds. They could go up to the strongest British intellectuals and just knock them out. And say, "Oh, that's what this is. I had no idea. I was looking at this and it seemed like the most primitive, bizarre, degraded thing. Now I understand."
Yeah. No, they go to see Lord Jagannath's festival with most beautiful, rich, colorful, exotic,
deeply,
and they look at these bunch
beautifully
of
theological,
primitive jungle men, doing
Yeah.
their crazy rituals. No, you missed out. You're seeing it from like a tourist perspective, and they can hold you by the hand and bring you into it.
Yeah. And there were plenty of people that were misrepresenting it. So they had to be challenged and defeated, and and just to kind of reestablish the teachings and their purity.
Mm.
Towering figures in if you have an interest in bhakti in the Western world, you most likely owe a debt to them.
Sure. Yeah, and we're just standing on the shoulders of these giants. They're
Yeah.
preaching in the punk scene. That's nothing. It's not like I'm going against.
Well, there's stories about how his life was threatened. That they said that that first of all, there's threat of Muslims, of course, as he became so influential, but there are also threats coming from other Hindus, because another thing that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati really did was, through going through the sacred texts themselves, he established that your role in society is not determined by birth. It's determined by your qualities and how you behave. And it's merit,
which makes sense. Which really makes sense, of course.
Yeah.
You can, just because you're born in a rich family, or just in an educated family. I always use the example of, okay, just because my dad's a doctor doesn't mean I'm going to go do open heart surgery on you. I have to become a qualified doctor.
Right.
But in India, that whole thing of, I was born in a Brahmin family. The Brahmins are the teachers, therefore I'm a teacher. Okay, become qualified to become a teacher. And how do you become a teacher in the Vedic system? You have to renounce, right? You have to have your senses under control. You have to be very careful of what you eat and what you consume through your eyes and your ears, etc. And
Peaceful
then after
mind,
a while, right, you could
peaceful
become
behavior.
Peaceful. And people didn't like that because they've been using these family titles like last names. And it could become your livelihood, and so
It all comes with lots of privilege.
Yeah, it comes with a lot of like privilege, but you got to earn that privilege. You got to earn that privilege. I can't just walk around, and go to the Olympics without training for the Olympics. So, Bhaktisiddhanta crushed that whole theory. Matter of fact, do you know this? I don't know if you know this. I heard this in a lecture. That when Brahmins, people who were born into Brahmin families, joined the ashram, he'd make them give up their Brahmin thread.
You got to start from scratch.
Like, yeah, you want to be a Brahmin? Then you got to earn that.
Yeah.
Not just because your father was a Brahmin, you're going to wear. That means nothing around here. Very interesting. That is like, that's enough to shake up a religious person. And it did. It shook up. And so you're right. He was under attack.
His life was threatened. And once even the police came to him, right? The local police in Navadvip, and they said, we have to tell you something, that the other Hindu leaders, they're trying to pay us to have you killed. And you know what? They say normally we do that kind of thing, but for you we cannot do that. But we want to let you know that this is going on, like that,
Incredible. Horrible. The things they had to do to establish truth.
Yeah.
These are important stories that need to be told. Thank you for bringing this up, Mr. Kaustubha.
You got us going. Why don't you turn your mic a little bit? It's a little facing too far upward there, I think.
Like that?
Yeah, there we go.
You see my beautiful face?
Okay, so we were talking about how Krishna is like an actor. This is an important thing. He's like an actor in one sense, in the sense that he can play, he can take on any role. But at the same time, he's not like an ordinary actor that's like faking. Because when he's playing that role, he becomes completely absorbed in it. Let me read you something, okay, Raghunath?
Please.
This is a commentary from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And it's a commentary to the 10th canto. It's from the 10th canto, 9th chapter, text 19. This is a verse that has to do with how Mother Yashoda ties up little baby Krishna.
Okay.
So here's little baby Krishna, who's like, he's running from his mother. He's afraid. She's tying him up. He's crying. Is he just playing? Like, is he acting? Are those tears real? What's going on? So this is what he writes. He writes, I think the verse reads, O king, the entire world along with its controllers is under his control. Even though he is independent, Hari, or Krishna, showed in this manner that he possesses the nature of being under the control of his servants, right? Little Krishna is under the control of his mother, Yashoda. She ties him right up. She binds him up, right?
Mm.
So he goes, Krishna shows that he possesses the nature of being under the control of his servants. He's called Bhaktavasyata. This Bhaktavasyata is seen in the fact that he is an Atmarama, a self-satisfied being, but still gets hungry. All his desires are completely fulfilled, but still he's unsatisfied, right? I want to be fed by my mother right now, you know?
Mm.
His essence is Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness, but he still gets angry. You know,
Still
why
gets
did mother put
angry.
me down?
He's all
He is the-
clean, but still he gets dirty.
Okay.
Hair is
He is-
perfect, but it gets all messy.
He is the master of all transcendental abodes, but he steals.
Yeah, he's got everything. Why is he stealing?
He's stealing
He's the Lord
butter.
of-
Right. He is the source of fear for Mahakala, Yamaraj, and others, but he is fearful and runs from his mother. He is faster than the speed of the mind, but he is caught forcibly by his mother. He is bliss personified, but cries out in distress. He pervades everything, but he's bound by his mother. His being under the control of his bhaktas is natural, svabhavaki. He showed this natural subordination to his devotees to say he caused the Kumaras, starting with Sanat Kumara, the son of Brahma, to achieve this knowledge and to experience his greatly astonishing nature. This knowledge and experience is not meant for the ignorant, as they are incapable of understanding it. So it was not meant to be specifically for great. So it was meant specifically for great people like the Kumars. So it's such a fascinating character that Krishna is, that he wants to play. As a matter of fact, that's all you do when you're totally free, is like you play. Even when he's reestablishing cosmic order in the universe, he's playing. But in his play, he gets lost in that play and experiences it as a great adventure. You know, it
Makes
just,
sense.
It
I mean,
it
if
does.
you are actually,
Yeah.
if you actually have everything, you've got your finances figured out, you got your home, you got your family figured out, if all your business is done, what do you want to do? You want to play. Outsource the work, right? You have, right? You're not the driver any longer. You've outsourced that. You have a driver. You have a maintenance person. You're not mowing the lawn. You have people doing that for you. What does Krishna do? He's not in charge of your karma. He's not punishing you. He's outsourced all that stuff. Krishna's just having loving adventures with his devotees. He's having loving adventures with devotees, and he manifests needs to fulfill his devotees' desire. Krishna has no needs. He's manifesting hunger. He's manifesting like, I'm hungry. I got to take this. He's manifesting naughty behavior to facilitate a person who wants to treat Krishna like he's my son. He's facilitating someone who wants to have Krishna as his lover. He's facilitating like needs like a needy person, and therefore he does have those needs only for the bottom line of he wants rasa. He wants a sweet relationship with his devotees.
That's all he cares about. You know, this is a really interesting point. On that same verse from Bhagavatam about Krishna running away from his mother, Srila Prabhupada wrote a commentary. And he writes this there. He says, these contradictions that we just heard about, because Prabhupada follows Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's direction in the commentary, right? So he lists those same kind of, same kind of contradictions that we're hearing about. You know, he's this, but he's hungry. He's that, he's most powerful, but he's afraid, and all of that. Prabhupada writes, these contradictions cannot be understood by one who is not a devotee, but a devotee can understand how powerful is unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. It is so powerful that Krishna can be controlled by an unalloyed devotee. Now, here's the, he purposely becomes vulnerable to the love of his devotee in order that he can experience the taste of the various tastes of love that you were just speaking about, these rasas, right? But then Prabhupada makes it, he kind of points this out very clearly, and it's interesting. He says this Bhritya Vasyata, this his being controlled by the devotee, it does not mean that he is under the control of the servant. Rather, he is under the control of the servant's pure love. It's not that I could, not that any one of us has the power to control Krishna, but if we have love for Krishna, if we have bhakti, bhakti controls Krishna. And if we have it, and only if we have it, does Krishna become controlled by us. But he's controlled. If you want to call him the God of love, like people do kind of in a casual, less philosophically precise way, well, here's the philosophically precise way to understand it, that he's the God of love because love is his only interest, and he's so deep into it, and he plays these roles that so deeply that he comes under the control of his servant's pure love. Oh. It reminds me of that story of this one German devotee who became a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. While we're speaking about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, right? He traveled all over India, and he had seen all different kinds of temples and sadhus and teachers and so on. And
I think he even got initiated by some lineage.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah. And then he met one of Bhaktisiddhanta's disciples.
Right. And he accepted Krishna as, the cause of all causes, the God of the gods, etc. And once he was asked, well, all the different devas and all the different gods and goddesses, why was it Krishna that you accepted? And he said, well, I looked at all of them, and this one is creating, and this one is destroying, and this one's in charge of the material realm, and this one. But when I looked at him, all he was doing was playing a flute. Right? Like, in other words, he's got nothing to do but play. He must be the one that's on top. And there's a very interesting logic to that.
That is very, and an interesting thing was, if because we just watched 7 Years in Tibet, right? And it's the same situation because they were from Germany. They were from Austria. They got held in I don't know what they're called. It's not like a concentration camp. It's like a internment camp because they were not allies.
Held where?
They were held in India. They were held in Tibet.
Okay.
In like almost like a not like a full-on prison, but you couldn't get out. You lost your freedom. So that's
when
what
was
happened.
This? What was the era?
That was World War II, but the same as this devotee. He went to India right before the war, and then he got held in one of these camps. And in that camp, he met a German disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta.
A German disciple?
Yeah, the German met a German in one of those camps.
Okay, so there's already a German disciple.
There already was a German disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta, and he initiated him on behalf of Bhaktisiddhanta in the internment camp.
Very interesting.
Isn't that interesting? There's a book on it. Me and Mara read it because the guy kept notes. He kept a diary of it, and they just republished it. It's called, I don't know. If you know the name of the book, put it up there. Mandala repressed it, I think. It's a very cool book.
Okay.
Ready for takeaways?
Oh, that's it.
Yes. You got to turn your mic a little there too, Mara. Just lean it down a little. There you go. What you got?
All right.
What you got, Miss Mara?
Change the people you hang out with and change your life.
There you go. We started it off with that.
Okay.
It's not just me and God and a culture of loving God.
It's not just me and God. It's a culture of loving God.
It's a culture.
Whole culture concept. Okay.
Yeah. Associate with sweetness to become sweet.
Yeah, that was all in the first 3 minutes, I think. Maybe that could have been the one sentence. I think said all those.
Always keep appreciation for our teachers in the heart.
Yeah. Keep it right there in the heart.
Yeah. Once you lose it, you've lost something special.
If you have an interest in if you have an interest in bhakti, you have a debt to Bhaktisiddhanta, Saraswati, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Yeah.
Sure do. Certainly if you're from the West. I mean, it came through them, almost everybody.
Let's see. Want to be a Brahmana? Gotta earn it.
Earn it.
Mm.
We make our money the old-fashioned way.
We earn it. Remember that one?
What's that from?
It's some like
E.F. Hutton.
E.F.
Was it E.F. Hutton? Something like that. It was one of those things.
We earn it.
When you're totally free, you just play.
That's right.
Yeah.
Krishna manifests needs just to have the ras. Bhakti controls Krishna.
That's
Yep.
right.
That's how you control somebody. You control with love.
And
And
imagine Lord Duck and the flying squirrel avatar.
imagine
Right.
them. Meditate on their divine forms. There probably is one. Why not fabricate it?
Why not?
Got a little peacock feather in his duck crown. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Great day. Great.
Okay,
memory,
Mara.
Great souls.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. Sarah Ditto, good to see you. And Narayan, good to see you. What else we got here joining? Maya Cabrina. Hey, Maya. Harry Ball. Hair, I can't tell. You got hair or a hat, Maya? Hair hat. Good morning, and Long, and Naveen Arjuna. Good morning. Thanks for joining us in the morning, guys. Special way to start your morning. Lita Kishori, Harry Ball, and happy birthday week. You get the whole week this week. Celebrate. You're special. 2 hands on the wheel. Let's keep you special. It's like I make the heart mudra. What happened before the tragic accident? Well, I was making a heart mudra, watching Zoom while I was driving. I was driving with my knee, balancing a cup of tea on my other knee. Chanting japa, drinking coffee.
Now, Karuna's got the spirit. She's dancing around. See this, Raghu?
Karuna, big girl, special being.
Now Henry's dancing around.
Henry's dancing. That was the old days. Everyone was dancing. The dances anymore.
Now Jamuna Pritti's
Come on.
dancing around.
Come on, try to Cinderella. She's like, no, come on, kid. There you go.
Henry's really going for
I'm
it.
at work right now. I'm at work, it'll look awkward.